sharing with you a portion of my literacy block in which a group of students are engaged in a literature circle. You will have an opportunity to view what happens during a literature circle, what other students in the class are doing, and observe the teacher's role throughout. In addition, you will see how we use technology to facilitate our literature circles. During this time, you will gain insight into how my reading workshop engages diverse learners in a variety of focus literacy activities. Literature circles include a group of students, ideally between 4 and 6 students, who meet to have a literary conversation about what they have read. During the session, they apply previously taught reading strategies, share ideas, critical thoughts, and opinions. They stretch their thinking through their interaction with each other. The students are reading the same material and expanding their reading through the dialogue that takes place. Each member of the literature circle has a focus for reading, and they will then share with the group. During the discussion, students are not limited to speak only about their area of focus. For instance, if the student chooses to be the questioner, he or she is encouraged to also engage in conversations about vocabulary, connections, and reflective thoughts. Students have ample opportunities to experience various roles, and this encourages them to look at their reading through different lenses, thereby deepening their understanding of the text. A literature circle is one part of a comprehensive literacy program. It provides opportunities for students to apply and improve their reading skills, and it also engages them in literary conversations in order to broaden their perspectives and promote diverse points of view.
And I like how the author gives examples of how you can help make a difference, because if you want to make a difference, it gives you examples.
That's a good point, because you see all the other newspaper articles. They give you information if you want to know more about it. So that's a really nice point. Who would like to continue?
I can continue. I was reactor for this one, Making a Difference. And my first reaction was, wow, that's amazing. It's incredible to know that only an 11-year-old can raise over $6,000. Well, not by himself, but with only like 12 friends.
In general, teachers tend to associate literature circles with fiction text. Several students in my class, boys in particular, tend to have a growing interest in nonfiction texts, and so I have gradually introduced nonfiction texts into the reading selection for literature circles. Research shows that boys in particular value social time and social aspects when learning. Literature circles and cooperative learning groups provide motivation and assistance to students that will ultimately enrich their learning experience. The role of the teacher changes as students become more comfortable. When they first begin to participate in literature circle, I am part of the group and I model how each role works and guidelines for participation. As students gain experience, they facilitate and assume responsibility for the discussion. My role as the teacher is to challenge students to expand their thinking and to foster their motivation to read and talk about their reading. As part of the process, students learn to challenge each other's thinking and deepen their understanding of the text they are interpreting. Literature circles provide non-threatening and engaging opportunities for students to interact in rich literary experiences. When students are given choice in what they read and time to talk about their reading with their peers, they are more likely to be motivated to engage. Literature circles are not necessarily based on reading level, ability, or one specific curriculum expectation. They are ways of involving students in real conversations about their reading. The need to clearly articulate ideas, supported by evidence from the text, builds vocabulary, reading skills, and strategies. Rich conversations during literature circles often foster a genuine desire to read. Literature circles are not meant to be homogeneous. In fact, many literature circles include students with various abilities, exceptionalities, cultural and ethnic identities, and genders. According to Harvey Daniels' work on literature circles, discussions are richer if students aren't all alike. What are the benefits of literature circles? Literature circles allow students to become more confident in social situations. Develop their oral literacy by requiring students to clearly express their thoughts and views. It allows them to take part in conversations with peers and adults, to clarify their ideas and refine concepts or strategies. It also allows them to share, consider, and build upon others' points of view. Students become accountable for their own opinions and thoughts. They develop new ideas. They respect ground rules for listening to each other without interruption. It also allows them to focus on the speaker, extend and promote classroom learning, and connect their learning to prior learning. In addition, it allows them to promote an extended classroom dialogue, build a sense of community, develop habits of mind that foster collaboration and deep thinking. The teacher, in conjunction with students, select the text from a wide variety of genres and formats. This selection is informed by knowledge of students' interests and learning goals. Working with the school librarian and grade partners helps me be informed as to what is available and popular.
My involvement in the selection of text helped me because I know what I want to be. If I'm reading against something I don't want to, it's against my will, and I'm not going to be that enthusiastic into it.
We have more choice now because we were given a choice of books that we were able to select, and now that we're much more free, we can actually choose the books.
Once multiple copies are gathered, I create a schedule of meeting dates. Since the students in today's literature circle have had experience working in such a context, they are familiar with specific procedures, roles, and social agreements. The students are well aware that their roles are simply meant as a guide and that they are not limited to only speaking about their area of focus. More importantly, students know that they should always be developing their critical literacy skills. This is an area of focus for our class. To us, critical literacy means understanding that texts are not neutral and that they represent particular points of view. It means considering other views and perspectives that may be missing, considering alternative messages, reading between the lines, thinking about how the author is trying to convince or influence the reader, and considering fairness, equity, bias, stereotypes, and social justice. As a teacher, I adjust my involvement in the literature circle based on the needs of the group. As students become more familiar with the process, they act as facilitators. I observe the students in action and provide ongoing assessment of the literature circle participants. I am assessing how well students can articulate their thinking, the critical thinking that students are applying to dig deep for meaning, how well students work as part of a team. Do they encourage their peers? Do they know how to challenge a group member's thinking without shutting down the conversation? Are they able to build new understanding and knowledge of the text because of the interaction of the group? Are they able to successfully support their ideas with evidence from the text or their own experiences?
Being part of Literature Circle has helped me because now I know that, well, I'm part of a team, and it helps me feel more self-confident if I know that I'm part of a team. And being part of a team is like, if you're not that well into the zone part of it, then it helps me because I know I'm actually part of something. I have some people are counting on me. I have more responsibility, and I gotta be more organized. Obviously, I'm not that organized.
A literature circle helps you to express what you want to say about an article, and I think literature circle is a really good way to talk about books and talk about critical reading and having conversations about what other people have to say, because when you hear what other people have to say, you could actually change your perspective, and it's a really good idea. So that's why I think literature circle is a smart thing to have when you're reading anything.
Once the literature circle is underway and working well, I can work with other students in focused small groups or individual instruction sessions. For example, during today's guided reading session, I was focused on working with a small group on making inferences. The text I selected was related to electricity, the unit of study we are currently working on in science. I used a graphic organizer and a whiteboard to scaffold students' learning during this time. The students do the reading, and then we debrief to gain further insight into their thinking and learning. I always return to the literature circle to listen in on the discussion and critical conversations. During our literature circle, students are able to self-assess and monitor their progress. Videotaping students as they participate in a literature circle adds an extra dimension to everyone's learning. It is powerful for students to observe themselves articulating their ideas and interacting with group members. Once the taping is complete, students are able to edit the tape, which will later be shared with the rest of the class. The conversation is rich and the thinking is deep as they decide what to keep and what to cut in order to create a coherent piece of media that gets their point across. There are many benefits to having students self-assess by watching themselves in a literature circle. It provides them with an opportunity to take time to think about their thinking, and it allows them to identify strategies they found most helpful. It also permits students to plan next steps they can take to improve their oral communication, their listening skills, and their overall critical analysis of text. The editing and sharing take time, but the resulting motivation and excitement around using the technology to create a piece of media is invaluable. The finished product is finally shared with the class. Showcasing the students' work is part of the learning and also the celebration of learning. It validates the work and recognizes each member of the team. Everyone involved learns something and is enriched by the experience. Students become creators of media as well as consumers, and the experience helps them develop their critical literacy skills. This is collaboration at its very best. When students video record themselves, they are also able to reflect further on their level of discussion and contributions. After some experience with the literature circles, the assessment criteria is altered to reflect the most current understanding of the process. So what's next? My students and I would like to try talking about books or electronic texts via the internet. We hope to explore online blogging about texts of all types as we continue to evolve in our literature discussions. Technology allows us to be connected globally to learners with common interests. It would be exciting to explore the possibilities that exist for extending the literature circle beyond our classroom environment. This is something we will definitely consider.